What could be better than blessings from the Rabbi, Rabbi Sol? Actually, there is probably one better thing than a blessing from Rabbi Sol Solomon. It would be one from your parents. And I hope you had a good and fun and blessed holiday, Father's Day, here on June 15th. And so I am blessed to have my dad on the phone with us in the neighborhood. He's been here quite a few times, but always great to have him back. Hello, Dad. How are you?
Pretty good, thank you. Had a lovely day.
Oh, well, yes, we all went out. We went to the delicatessen in Long Beach called, what is it? Lido, of course, where they, that was some good pastrami. It was cut thick. I'm not doing a commercial for them, but I'm just saying, this is totally off the instance. They make a good pastrami. How was yours? What did you have?
That's a sandwich.
And what's a sandwich? What did you end up having there? A wrap of some sort, I think, right?
Yeah, turkey.
You don't sound too thrilled.
Well,
turkey isn't pastrami.
Do too much damage.
Oh, I see. Well, yeah. Well, that's
can't have too much salt, and I can't have. Yeah, and your mother watches me like a hawk.
Even on Father's Day, you've got to be a good boy.
Well, she lets me get away with some stuff.
I think you're part of a pickle.
Yeah.
You were allowed to do that. But it's true. Dad took off the tomato from his wrap and gave it to me, because this is really fairly new to me. I hadn't heard about any of this, but you have stopped eating tomatoes. Why?
Nightshade vegetables, because they say that if you have arthritis, it is not a good idea to have nightshade vegetables.
Okay.
Which, of course, tomatoes are one.
Do you have arthritis?
Yeah.
Oh, I did. I was never quite sure about that. Where?
In the knees, particularly the left knee.
But your knees have been bad for many, many years. It wasn't arthritis from the first, or was it?
Who knows?
Good point. So, aside from, you gave up tomatoes, and what are other quote-unquote nightshade vegetables?
I don't recall offhand.
I think green pepper is a no-no. Is that true?
Green pepper, yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Red peppers, strangely enough, are okay. And that's good, because I love red peppers. I'm not crazy about green peppers.
Me too. Same exact taste. Have you ever tried... And we're going to go all over the map. And this is not a typical Dave's Gone By episode, because now I'm just shooting the breeze with my dad. Basically, let me also explain to the viewers that I put like tons and tons of energy into yesterday's big special. So this is kind of the overflow. This is like I had a huge triple mocha latte last night, and now whatever's flopped off onto the counter is tonight's show. So, and Dad, I'm so proud you're a part of that. So yes, we're going to segue now into red peppers. Have you tried the long, sweet red peppers? They have them at Trader Joe's. Are they good?
Long? How long are you talking about?
I beg your pardon? No, in other words, you know how you get the peppers in the supermarket, and they look like
when
tomatoes.
Correctly viewed, everything is lewd.
I could tell you things about Peter Pan and the Wizard of Oz is a dirty old man. Yeah.
Dirty old man, right.
Thank you, Tom Lehrer. No, but when you normally look at a pepper that you get from the supermarket, it's either kind of roundish like a tomato would be, or it's a little more oblong. But these sweet Italian peppers that they have, and the best ones seem to be at Trader Joe's, are much more curved. They're almost like a, it's hard to, sort of like a hook almost. They're thicker at the shoulders of it, and then they tail down like a snake a little bit.
I wouldn't be surprised if these came from Trader Joe's, but I just happen to like the red peppers, so I'm not sure just where they're coming from.
Okay, cool.
But they are so much more tasty than
green
sweet
peppers, yeah.
Than the green. Oh,
absolutely. And it's good that you can have those, even though you're giving up tomatoes and green peppers. And I forget what eggplant, is that good or is that okay?
Yes, right.
Eggplant is a no-no.
It's a no-no.
All right. Well,
what I like about eggplant was growing it at one point, but cooking it was.
Yeah, we never had luck with that. We didn't have, when I was living at home with my folks, we always, knock wood, had luck with tomatoes. They would just grow really nicely in the backyard. And we lose a few to bugs and slugs. Even if you put beer out, you're going to lose some. But most of the time you've got a nice batch, and they were really delicious. There is a difference between homegrown backyard tomatoes to the store-bought. But, yeah.
Like night and day. It was like the store-bought were plastic.
And
compared with what you grew at home.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And even if you lost a part of the crop, it was well worth it.
And we would have sometimes enough to give the neighbors. You know, you have a few tomato plants, and if they're growing and you keep the bugs off, you really get a nice bounty.
You remember the one year I was going around giving it away to everybody.
Man, I wish I had some of those tomatoes now, I'll tell you.
Oh, you and me both. Well, except I can't eat them.
Oh, right, yeah, exactly.
At the moment.
But that was the only vegetable, though, that we really had serious success with. We have occasional zucchini or a cucumber.
No, we had
Yeah.
I didn't have too much success with cucumbers, but the zucchini, oh, yeah.
Oh, you did have, okay. Maybe I just didn't like zucchini as much, so I didn't care whether it grew or not. I don't know. And then so I didn't care whether it grew or died or not. I was like, oh, the zucchini died. Oh, well. I'll have another tomato instead, you know.
Yeah.
But some of the other veggies, like carrots, never worked. I don't know what else we planted back there. But, well, figs, way back when, we used to have really wonderful, bountiful, delicious fresh figs.
Yeah, well, now we're down to 2 trees.
Yeah.
But the 2 trees now are getting huge.
But are they giving fruit, or are they just getting huge as trees?
Well, we had some fruit last year.
Oh, very nice. That's good.
And well, you see, now apparently they're big enough to survive the winter so far.
Oh, okay.
And they don't have to be covered. And if you remember, that's what we went through with the burlap.
Oh, my God, I'll never forget that.
Oh, what a chore that was.
Have to go out there with rope and twine and burlap. And usually it was always in horrible cold weather because we wait until the season was over. You know, you don't want to be wrapping them in the middle of August. You got to wait until it cools down. And then, like, the last half manageable weekend before winter sets in, it's like, oh, God, we forgot to cover the figs. And we schlep out there with what a pain. And we didn't mind it when the fig trees were very, very fecund. And you would get pounds of them from our 3 little trees in the backyard. But then there was one season when I think they were cut back too far. And
I think I used the wrong stuff to wrap them.
Oh, whoops.
I didn't have burlap.
What did you use?
I think I used some synthetic.
Yeah.
And apparently it didn't let it breathe, and bingo, one of them died.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And the production got cut down from literally having, a bushel of figs to having a couple of handfuls after a whole season. And then you got a couple of handfuls of figs, and here you have to go wrap them again. And we were like, you know what? They live, they live. They die, they die.
Exactly.
Get figs in the supermarket. Screw it, you know?
But the trouble is, if you don't get out there in the nick of time, you have to get them just when they're ripening at the right moment.
Oh, yeah, or else it's ant parade.
2 seconds after they're ripe, they're attacked by these ants.
Oh, yeah.
Red ants, I don't know where they come from. All of a sudden, they materialize on the fruit.
Big ants, I guess they must be.
And they decimate it.
I know. And figs, by the way, I know people may like or might not like fig Newtons, but if you've never had a fresh fig off a tree,
nothing like what you get in the fig Newton.
Nor are they even
or
like
what you get in the dried fig.
No. Or even if you go to like some of the appetizing places or the fruit market things, and you get these packages of figs that aren't dried. They're figs, but they're not necessarily like the real fresh figs. Let me tell you, you haven't tried figs until you've plucked them off, washed them off, and occasionally you end up eating an ant. You just do. You don't even. It's in there somewhere. And you
that provides you with protein, David.
Oh, the ant. That's good. They're a little bit of crunch because figs tend to be soft and mushy, so you get that little nice anty taste, a little crunch. The black tends to be meatier. The red ant has more fire to it. You feel like a spicy fig. You want to get a couple of red ants in there. Don't even know what I'm saying.
People think that we're weird.
People think. How do we get on this? And stuff that you're allowed to eat and stuff that you're not allowed to eat. So, right. You live on a fairly proscribed diet, because the arthritis stuff is very recent, as far as not being able to have these certain nightshade veggies. But there are other things that you've had to give up over the course of a few years for
Number
weight.
one was salt.
Yeah.
And salt was difficult. But,
how did you manage? Yeah.
Sugar was not a problem, because sugar, you've got sweet and low, and for me, it's a perfect substitute.
Mm-hmm.
But salt, when you get your taste buds attuned to that, all of a sudden, you're not eating salt. Everything tastes so bland.
Yeah.
What?
Are they been able
used to not eating salt?
Is there something?
Then when you taste something that's salty, it's too salty.
Right.
And you don't want it anymore.
Yeah, there's got to be that balance thing of like, if you go a week even, where you've really cut down your salt or your sugar intake, and then you have something sweet or salty the way you used to have it. And
right.
Like, wow, was I really eating that? Was that, whoa.
How about that?
Well, which is a good thing, I guess. Your body recalibrates itself, and then you want less of this evil, naughty, bad thing.
You didn't give up salt.
Well, no, but there are times when I will seriously cut back on sugar a little bit, or I'll seriously cut back on sugar a little bit, or some of the other things, or if my wife is doing more of sort of the food preparation and salads and stuff like that, and then after a few days of eating that kind of thing, I have more of what I normally or used to eat, and it's salty or sweet or whatever it is. I was like, whoa, and then my eyes go, wow, and it's not necessarily pleasant. I mean, sometimes I'll get soup. I'll get soup from a restaurant, and probably in the quote-unquote old days, it would have been okay, and then I'll have the soup, especially like if I'm not feeling so well, and I need chicken soup or something, and I get it from some Chinese place locally. And I was like, whoa, it's like a bowl of salt.
Right.
And I'm wondering how much of that is me, and how much of that is the restaurant itself.
This week, of course, salt is not a good thing. Well, a year or 2 or 3, and they'll come out and tell you that, salt is a preservative. It'll keep you young. Well,
don't forget, I was in the generation where they invented Gatorade. And what was Gatorade? It was replacing salts.
Salt, right.
So if you worked out, if you ran track, if you...
Well, yeah, you were sweating, perspiring like crazy. You know me.
Uh-huh.
And you remember the story about my uniform? The color of my uniform?
No.
Oh, man.
When you were in the Air Force?
I was in the Air Force. And everybody had these light green fatigues.
Mm-hmm.
And we're out on the field, and I guess we were doing calisthenics or whatever, and it was the middle of the summer.
Yeah.
And this captain takes a look at me and he says, Lefkowitz, how come everybody in the unit has light green fatigues except you? You've got dark green. And I said, no excuse, sir. He says, no, really, how come? I said, it's sweat. He says, you will stop sweating. I said, yes, sir. Immediately.
You will stop sweating.
Yeah.
Did he say that with a smile, or?
Are you kidding? This guy had no sense of humor. He weighed about 300 pounds at least.
Yeah.
And his joy was they would play Johnny on the pony. And he would never be the pony, but he'd always be Johnny.
Wait a minute, what is that?
You make a line of guys.
Yeah.
You're all bent over.
Oh, my God. Is this what went on in the military?
Yes.
And they say, don't ask, don't tell, huh? Okay.
No. It's not like that.
Johnny on the pony, huh? Oh, Sergeant! Giddy up, giddy up!
You bend over.
Where's my harness? Did you enjoy this game, Dad? Did you enjoy it a lot?
Particularly.
Did you enjoy it way too much?
Were
you walking bow-legged when you came back from basic training?
And one guy and one team, I should say.
Yeah.
They come.
Would they? Yes. Oh, yes.
A running jump and see how far they can go from the beginning of the pony toward the head of the pony.
Yeah. And
then the idea is to land with such force that it forces the pony to break.
So those people are jumping on people's backs, basically.
Right, exactly.
What kind of retard thinks this stuff up?
Now, mind you, this guy was, 300 pounds or so.
Yeah.
He would always be Johnny. He would never be the pony.
Of course.
So we could never get even with him. And his greatest delight was to hurt somebody.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He was a piece of work.
Whatever happened to him?
I don't know, but I know what I would like to. Yeah. No, Mom doesn't want me to wish.
Oh, evil on people.
Right.
Who's this? What was his name anyway?
You think I remember? Captain something.
Oh, really? You don't remember what he was called, or what you had to call him?
No.
That's amazing.
I have thankfully been able to put him out of my thoughts.
I hope you kept him out of your ass. I'm the pony. You're the pony. I'm Angel Cordero. Get ready.
As I said, when correctly viewed, everything's glued.
Well, glue factory for him. Oh, my. At least he went and bothered to do a running start. So maybe he could run at 300 and something pounds. Good. What other games did you guys play in the military? What kind of nonsense is that?
Wait a minute. The whole team, their whole team, would jump on us.
Yeah.
And the first guy to jump would go as far as he could.
Yeah. And
if it didn't break at that point, he would go further forward. And eventually you would wind up supporting the entire opposing team, unless the pony broke.
Well, it's just a line of guys in a row, or on each other's shoulders. Now I'm a little...
No. You're as I said, you're bent over.
Yeah. But,
yeah. And you're one behind the other.
Right.
And you're forming back like a horseback.
Right.
And the guy jumps on you.
On someone's back or potentially someone's neck.
Yeah.
Was anybody...
there were plenty of injuries.
Okay. What was the point of this marvelous game?
Just so that I think the drill instructor could torture us.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, it can't just be one instructor who's allowing this. It's got to be within the Army book of things to do.
No, I think they did this in school, too.
Oh, they outlawed that nonsense by the time I was in school. We never had anything like Johnny on the Pony. I mean, we had Naked Twister. That was fun. But not Johnny on the Pony.
Well, I bet if your Uncle Les were here, he could tell you that he saw it and maybe participated. I don't know. Well, although it could have not been around when he was in school.
He was in Mary Lick the Squid, which was a much lighter version of the game.
He was 10 years after. He's younger than me.
Yeah.
So,
no, but Mary Lick the Squid is a much gentler version. I mean, because then you just had to do like these 5 people being the arms, and you sort of wave around, and then.
Well, they didn't give us the option.
The other team forms a giant tongue. It's kind of interesting, actually. Fun to watch, especially,
and you had one guy standing against the wall.
Yeah.
And then the first guy making up the pony would put his head ram it against the guy on the wall into his belly.
Yeah.
And then the next one comes behind the first one, and they form a chain. And that's the pony.
All right. Enough of this. This is so disturbing. So were there
on so many levels?
Yes. Was that the sickest, weirdest, stupidest thing they did? Probably not. But do you remember anything else that they made you do in our wonderful, gloriously compensated armed forces?
Well, I remember the cleaning parties.
What was that? Everybody took a toothbrush and cleaned the bathroom?
Pretty much.
Yeah. At least that
Truth
I sort
of the
of
matter.
yeah.
Truth of the matter is, by the time I got to Ohio, when I first was in basic training, the quarters were right out of tobacco. No, that's not true. No, the quarters were decent, but they housed like 50 men in a room, a big room, and double bunks and double deckers.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not pleasant life.
Well, yeah.
You know, on just about, they come around and wake you up. Oh, and even better, at all hours of the night, usually 2 or 3 in the morning, you're fast asleep. They have a fire drill. And you're not supposed to take time to put anything on.
Uh-huh.
So here you are in your skivvies. And you go out, and we happen to be stationed in Vermont.
You know, so, of course, wonderful Vermont weather in the winter, yeah.
And Vermont, even in the summertime, at that hour of the morning, is cold. We're all standing there shivering like crazy. But the other was in Texas.
Uh-huh.
And Lackland. That's where we did our basic. And that was not a question of cold. It was hot as hell. And supposedly they gave you off. You didn't have to have any duty on a day when the temperature rose above a certain point.
If it's that cold, I'm not going to be making any duty. If it's that cold, my sphincter's going to be pretty darn tight. Tighter than I wanted even when I was playing Johnny on a Pony. I would want a real tight sphincter in that situation.
But they somehow or other managed to completely ignore that. Yeah. And we would go about our normal activities no matter what the temperature. And in Texas, it got pretty hot, as you can imagine.
Yeah. Well, the Army and the Navy and, of course, the Air Force that you were in has its own kind of ridiculous logic. And I guess there's rules and wisdom for everything, but it always just seems when you hear the stories of what they would do just to keep people occupied and to keep everyone in it on some kind of basic grunt level and not questioning and just doing stupid things because, the captain said so or the sergeant said so. That just seems to be the, 90% of it. Well,
the idea being that if you get into a combat situation, they cannot tolerate your questioning orders. So the trick is to make you obey without thinking.
So any stupid thing the Army, we got to do this? Do it. Let's just do it. That's what they're saying we should do.
Yeah, do it. Get it over with.
Now, we've got to move on with the show because Jeff Goodman has walked in. He's seen the whole Tony Awards. So in a couple of minutes, we'll be doing Inside Broadway with our Tony wrap-up and our Tony special wrap-up. But before I let you go, Dad, first of all, I want to wish you a happy Father's Day. And do you have any thoughts about remembering Lester Pinkow, who's a father that we lost in the family, about half a year ago?
I must say that there is no way I felt about him like a brother-in-law. I mean, to me, he was a brother. He was an unusual, wonderful, competent, incredibly well-liked man. Everybody I ever knew, I ever met, or ever knew him, always had good things to say about him. He would do things. He would arrange, for instance, my boss at the court.
Yeah.
Was going to wherever. And Les, who had worked for Intercontinental Hotels for years, said, "Where is he going?" And I gave him the city and the Intercontinental Hotel that he was staying at.
Uh-huh.
And they upgraded him to suite, I guess.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, no, they treated him like a VIP.
Well, good. Yeah, no, Les was a very, very cool guy. And you're a very, very cool dude, too, Dad. So happy Father's Day. Love you like crazy. Best wishes to you and Mom. And many, 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 many more.
You guys are the joy of my life. Likewise,
dude. I never call Dad dude except on the radio. Likewise, Dad. Love you much. Have a great night. And talk to you soon. Bye-bye now. And we will be back with more Dave's Gone By and some Tony-related theater fun after these words from our sponsors.